It's off. It's in a second. Oh! Get the knee down! It's off! Woohoo! Sorry for the extra scream there. I came right off. How different can two bikes be? The Speed Twin and the Scrambler XC. Well, here I go, second bike of the day. Just took out the Scrambler 1200 XC. That's E, not C. XE, the top one. And now I'm on the Speed Twin. Now it's exactly the same engine. Now I've been on this bike for a couple of minutes just to put the gear on. And my God, talk about chalk and cheese, they are so completely different. It's the same engine, but everything after that is completely different. Obviously it's got a normal exhaust, one should say, not the twin pea shooters. Looks a lot lower. Front headlight assembly is completely different. Obviously it's got normal road wheels. Everything that's identical is in fact the look of the engine, funnily enough. It's got completely different binnacle, different light, different grips, different bar end mirrors, completely different suspension at the back, normal kind of Bonneville-esque suspension as opposed to the other one which had O-rings. So completely different, There you go, very nice indeed. Like this livery actually, comes in red, this or all black, and the red really makes that black bit stand out on the tank, and this grey looks very nice, looks kind of, maybe more kind of grown up in this colour. Oh, bit of poppy, right, straight away, compared to the XC was on tiptoes, I've got my feet fully flat on the floor here, fully flat on the floor, that's quite easy to see, which is nice. Handlebars kind of lower than it would have been on that adventure bike, so the seat position is somewhat different, you feel like you're a bit more forward on the bike. It's got the most beautiful binnacle at the front. It's got this kind of aluminium or steel chromey bit around here. Oh, it's really beautifully done. I must admit, it looked really nice. Right, okay, so let's have a look. Woohoo! Right, first impressions. The seat's a lot softer than the other one. Your knees are a lot higher, and your knees go into the tank because you haven't got those side exhausts splaying your thighs apart. Oh, the gears aren't quite as smooth. There's a much more jerkiness in the throttle. It's a bit Yamaha-esque, more like MT07, MT09 sort of jerkiness than the fueling. The back brake is a lot weaker on this bike. However, overall, well, it's a lot softer. Blimey, the front compression and the back. I mean, luckily the other one had O-rings, which you expect to be firmer, but still excellent. This is really soft feeling bike, it's full of wafty, so woo-hee, woo! Oh, it's like a waterbed. I had one of those back in the day. Bloody nightmare, I almost drowned. So very nice actually so far. Let's put the visor down. So actually, yeah, nice comfy position. You're leaning forward a little bit more than I was on the XE, but you're not leaning aggressively forward like on the Brutale. They're still very comfortable. My back's about 15 to 20%, no, 15% off vertical. Absolutely fine. These mirrors are much better on this bike than they were on the XE, which were somewhat inside the bike. These are on the bar ends, and you've got excellent visibility. I imagine Triumph has long ago cured the rotating mirror problem. I know on some bikes they still tend to shake, but the first two rides I ever went out on a Triumph, in all seriousness, both of them, one after the other, the mirrors just completely went loose and started swinging around in circles. Never mind, eh? But similar to the XC, this looks also very well made. You've come off a Yamaha, to use as an example, because I'm kind of looking at getting a Yamaha. This does seem much better put together, better looking in terms of less wires and problems with the bike. Noise wise, not bad. I mean, you can't hardly hear it, except when you're really screaming for it or in a very low revs with the burbling, but this kind of bike, it's not when you put a can on, because you're not buying it for that, you're not buying it for its sportiness or raucous sound. It's not a look at me bike. This is a very easy hop on and go bike. It's also very comfy and very well made. And there's some nice low down torque. Whee! Oh, fucking hell. Sorry for the extra scream there. I came right off the seat. Brilliant. Oh dear Christ, same problems as the other bike. My neck and my ears are already getting cold. Didn't bring the right stuff out. Silly Billy, silly Billy. Yeah, nice. Instantly, obviously a lot more lot more chuckable than the 1200 Scrambler XE. As you'd expect, this is about half the height. Oh, normal tyres as well. You can feel a difference straight away in the tyres, really. I mean, one of the key factors of any motorcycle is the tyres. You don't realise until you can't change the tyres on the same bike what a difference they can make. You know what I'm finding? I'm finding that this bike is exciting in the lower gears. Generally as you're going along, it just feels a bit inexciting. I mean, every bike's exciting when you're accelerating, but I don't know, it lacks a bit of dynamism. I suppose just in a day, it's not my style of bike, that's all, isn't it? But if you take that into account, then what I'm experiencing is bloody fabulous. It's comfy. That is a bloody poor back brake. Remember to use the front brake more. Fourth neutral in, come on, get away with it. Careful to rag it. Brand new tyres, brand new bike. It's winter roads. Well, it changes gear nicely. It's got a nice light clutch. The gears shift to itself on your left foot. Seems to do the job. I have a bit of problem first to second, which didn't have on the XE. Yeah, so the instrument vehicle is very nice to look at. Fairly uncluttered front. This has a key, an actual key, would you believe it, as opposed to a keyless ignition that was on the Scrambler 1200. As I said, the wing mirrors are excellent, really, really good. It's one of the best I've ever come across. In fact, I'd say it's 90% vision. In fact, that has actually got the medal of the best wing mirror visibility in the history of a motorcycling career. There you go. She's saying something, then again, that's what you kind of get at bar end mirrors, isn't it? It's quite logical. A lot of people make those upgrades straight away. Now, given it's the same engine as the 1200 Scrambler XE and XC models, there's no surprise that the engine power is exactly the same at 96 horses with similar newton meters of torque. Shall I come off here? At 110, which is quite good. You can really feel the torque on this bike like you could on the other one. Shoots away, very MT style from Yamaha. Shoots away from the lights and from early second and third gears. It's been my first ever smooth pickup on this bike. There's a bit of a problem with the gears so far. It is quite snatchy, so I'll keep moving my head to the right so I can see what gear I'm in. Got other cameras in the way in case you want to keep going like that, not to wave out to anybody. Yeah, well, if you do notice, I've noticed certainly on these latest brand new models to the Triumph range, Scrambler 1200 XE and this Speed Twin, is the build quality seems to have got even better. It was already very good. And when you go out on a, let's say, 2-year-old bike, let's say from a Japanese bike, you notice that these things change quite quickly. It's like anything with time. Like, I mean, the best example is probably camera phones, smartphones. Your camera's out of date 6 months later. I remember I bought an iPhone 6 Plus. No, actually, it was Samsung 6 Plus. And then an Samsung 8 came out like 3 months later. What the fuck happened to 7? I don't know. But yeah, very well made bike this is. It's off. It's in a second. Oh! Get it knee down! It's off! Ah! Oh, wait, it's okay! Oh, that's better. Couldn't see a thing then. There's nothing wrong with the acceleration of this puppy. Wait there, wait there. Something which I keep forgetting to do, because I'm jumping off so many bikes, I get used to ones with quick shifters. It's equalising the revs and the downshifts, which is probably why I'm so jerky on this bike. It's just something I've got to get more into the habit of doing. Oh dear, well it'll come anyway, it'll come. I can't say it's a complete fault of this bike, because my gear changing down isn't great. I just don't get on bikes enough, to be honest. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking with it. Oh yes. Oh, isn't it lovely for the acceleration on a motorbike? Oh, you haven't been on one for a while. Oh, delightful, delightful. Doesn't wrench your arms off like a Triumph. Down to find out where the bloody indicator is. Thank you. She's a bit knackered, no wonder. Okay, here we are, the new Speed Twin. It looks great, a fantastic livery. So tell us all about this bike. What are you trying to market segment? Are you trying to cover with this?
I think, to be fair, this bike really kind of enters its own segment, to be perfectly honest. Naturally, we brought out the Thruxton R in 2016, yep. Which is just over there with the track racing kits on.
Yep, lovely.
And we brought out a T120, and the T120 being more classically
love that.
styled, beautiful,
so easy, so comfy.
So we don't really make it. We didn't really make a Speed Twin. This is like your modern classic sort of inspired speed triple. Now the bike handles like an absolute dream. If you look at the profile of the wheels, the bike absolutely tips in. It's super light. It's very, very light, this bike. This is actually lighter than some of our 900cc bikes. So this is a 1200cc.
Oh right.
So this takes its engine from the Thruxton R, applies all the power.
So the delivery is different.
The torque delivery is different.
So you could argue it's a little bit more exciting, a little bit more,
absolutely,
a little bit more thrilling, in a retro styling kit.
In a proper roadster, modern classic retro. It's really interesting when we asked the bike shed, who are hugely into customization, what would you do to this bike? Where would you start? And their answer was, I don't know. And that's a hell of a compliment to our design guys, really, when you think about it. It's a great looking bike. That is a completely standard machine with a beautiful brushed aluminium mud guards. Still got rider modes. You still got switchable traction control on the bike. So Brembo brakes. This starts at £10,500, and that's a lot of money for a 1200 brand new bike. That is a lot of bike for the money.
Especially with all electric kit on it as well.
Absolutely, and it doesn't look it. It's very clean lines when you get down and look at the bike all around. There's not a lot of messy cable work. It's very, very tidy indeed. So you need something that rides as good as it looks, and it absolutely looks stunning.
That's the most perfect kind of hop-on bike actually. But you can do long journeys in it
easily. Yeah, I mean, I was in the saddle for 3 hours at a time over in Malaga, and no dramas at all.
Nice.
Absolutely no dramas.
Well, you were great. We got that email notification. You're off to Malaga.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, indeed.
All right, brilliant.
There are worse jobs out there.
Fantastic. Oh, I appreciate your time with those two bikes. Many thanks. Cheers for that.
Welcome.